Hello and welcome back to our Batman the Animated Series episodes commentary. And today's episode is one called The Worry Man, which we're gonna have a plot with the villain, the Mad Hatter. So as usual, let's do this together. If you have your DVD box sets or Blu-ray box sets or streaming service with Batman the Animated Series, let's do our countdown so we can watch it together, all right? In 3, 2, 1, give it a play. The Warner Bros. Logo is on the screen. Actually, now we have two Warner Bros. Logos if you have your DVD box set. We have the first one with Bugs Bunny eating the carrot before the real one that comes before the opening of the show. So anyway, so The Worry Man, this is an episode that for me is kind of forgettable. I'm gonna say this out front. I really tend to forget about this episode. I don't think it's a very good one. It's one of those plots that during the creation of the show, somebody said it was a good idea, but it should have been one of those that were never made. If you don't know, I have a video here in the channel talking about some of the canceled Batman the Animated Series episodes, or some of the episodes that never came to fruition because they were just written in concept and never actually produced. And I think this one should be one of those. But anyway, let's go. The episode starts with a party for the rich people of Gotham. And this party is being hosted by Veronica Vreeland, which is a prominent character in the show. She shows up from time to time, and she's this rich, girl, preppy girl or woman. I don't know how old she is, but she's this rich girl that could be maybe a possible date for Bruce Wayne, but they never actually get together. They're more like friends or rich friends, and she is usually the reckless, preppy girl. Her father, which we will learn eventually in other episodes, is a military guy, a general, I believe. And she's doing this party that has this Aztec um, decoration, and Bruce Wayne is in the party, and she comes to him with these little dolls made of wood that she found in the Central America, and she says that they I don't know, they are Lucky Charms, I believe. So she gives one to Bruce. And then we see this strange guy on the top of the building where the party is taking place. This guy dressed in Aztec clothes with a cape and a big hat. He shows up in the skylight of the roof, and so he's probably, not a good guy. Bruce he spots the guy in the skylight watching the party, and he leaves the place. He's gonna turn into Batman and follow this foe. So meanwhile, Veronica is giving the dolls. She has a bag full of these little dolls. She's giving the dolls to the other rich people in the party. So this is part of the mystery of the plot, why she's doing that. So then Batman meets the Aztec guy on the top of the roof, and they have a fight. The Aztec guy, he throws this dart at Batman, and then he also throws a kind of a ball that flies in the air and turns back like a boomerang and hits Batman in the back. So, you know, just one of those crazy nights for the Caped Crusader, as usual. uh, Batman ropes this villain in the leg and pulls him, and so the guy gets near the skylight and he breaks the glass, tosses an axe at the party, and this axe cuts one of the chains that is holding a huge Aztec statue head that starts to fall, and it will eventually crush the the guests of the party. So Batman, using his rope, he obviously wraps the rope on the other end of the huge head and is able to prevent this from happening. Um, anyway, just one of those cliche beginnings where Batman saves everybody, but the villain escapes. Um, right? So he gets the weapon of the enemy, that ball that it was tossed at him, and he watches the city, or he goes to the ledge of the roof and doesn't see the guy anymore, but he's hiding. The enemy is hiding under a statue of a bird or a gargoyle, I don't know, in the ledge of the roof. Anyway, the next day, Bruce and Alfred talk about this Aztec villain that he fought, and Alfred finds the little dolls that Veronica Villain gave him in the suit of Bruce. And in the next day, we're gonna have this very interesting scene. This is probably the most interesting part of the plot, where Bruce Wayne arrives at the office of Wayne Enterprises. He's wearing a hat, which is something quite unusual for Bruce to do. And he feels very well. Bruce Wayne, he's looking at the window of the office and saying how Gotham is beautiful. And he has a secretary that gives him a suitcase. And inside this suitcase, we have something that is not very, common to have. Some, dollar bills, many dollar bills. So there is a great value of money inside this suitcase. And Bruce simply puts the suitcase on the window of his own office. And the secretary comes to talk to him and asks, why are you putting $20 million in a suitcase? And suddenly Bruce doesn't remember what she's talking about. So the whole thing that just happened, it was erased from his head, that he got a suitcase with 20 million and he puts this suitcase on the window. And this is where the Aztec enemy shows up at the window of the office and gets the suitcase. And Bruce sees that happening. He tries to grab the guy, and the secretary grabs him from behind so he doesn't fall from the window. And suddenly Bruce realizes, okay, something is wrong here. Somebody is controlling him, or controlled him to do that for some reason. And all of a sudden we had this news of rich people in Gotham doing the same giving millions of dollars uh, to to the wind, so that the Aztec guy grabs that. And also, they none of them have the memory of doing that. They don't understand why would they give such amount of money away. And this is all part of a plot, right? Like I said, I guess this is a spoiler, but the villain of this plot is Mad Hatter. So we're talking about mind control, obviously, right? So we all know, I think by this time, if I told you the plot, if I told you the spoiler that the Mad Hatter is the villain, you already figure out that everything has to do with these little dolls that Veronica Vreeland gave away for the rich people in the party. Anyway, as the episode goes on, let me talk a little about this villain, the Mad Hatter. I think he's a very interesting villain. I don't know. I wouldn't say he's one of my favorites, but I do like his profile of being this villain that is fanatic for the Alice in Wonderland story. And the whole idea that, probably his best episode in this show is the first one where he actually has a crush, or I don't know, not a crush, but he's in love with a girl named Alice that works for Wayne Enterprises. And he makes his own, or he creates his own Alice in Wonderland around this girl. And by controlling the people's minds around her. And this is what I like about this character, this whole idea that he is fanatic for that story, and he wants to create this tale around himself. In a way, it's a very demented and dark motif, but at the same time, it's kind of poetic in a way. And I wish, and I know this is a big wish or a tall order, but I wish that there was some movie with the Mad Hatter as the main villain, being this guy who is creating Alice in Wonderland tale around him using Gotham, controlling people's minds in Gotham. It actually would be a very interesting plot, having people in the city go crazy and putting Batman in the situation that he has to deal with this craziness, deal with this with a whole city of people going nuts because of mind control. That would be interesting. And also, I think that you could have the other characters around the Mad Hatter playing a part in this fairy tale, because since all the elements of Alice in Wonderland story are so fantastical, and it all plays into the fantasy that he's creating. All these villains could be part of his of this plot. They could be part of this fairy tale in a way. I'm rambling here because I really don't care about this episode. But I do like the Mad Hatter. I'm sorry. I think his best episode is not the first one, the one he creates Alice in Wonderland, is the second one, Pursuit to a Dream. I think it is the name, and which he puts Batman inside a dream where his parents never got murdered, and he's not Batman, but Batman does exist in this world, in this dream world. I already commented this episode, and I think it's one of the best episodes of this show because it's so crazy. It's such a crazy episode, and it really has this mystery plot that you don't know what's happening until the end of the thing, where when it is revealed that the Mad Hatter is behind the whole thing, behind the whole dream. And this is fun too, having a character that can play into the dream of Batman, or he can play into this dream idea, that everything is possible, because it's a fantasy story, it's a fantasy world. So that should be more, used in Mad Hatter stories. And I would love to see a whole movie with just that, Batman in a dream world. We had examples of this kind of story, not only here, but in other animations like the Batman from 2004, for example. So it's not a uncommon kind of story to put Batman in. Anyway, the episode finally is getting a little more interesting because Batman, he figured out very quickly that the Mad Hatter is behind the whole dolls plot. So he finds the Mad Hatter in this hideout, which has many dolls, but this time huge dolls like puppets or marionettes attacking Batman like robots almost, right? We had a penguin one, a Riddler one, a Joker one, and my favorite was the Harley Quinn one because she's actually a marionette with these ropes hanging her, and she has a huge knife and tries to kill Batman. Is great. And not only we have these puppets around Batman in this lair, but we also had in the background, if you pay attention, there is a Scarecrow one, there is a Mr. Freeze one. So it's the Batman Rogues Gallery in the form of puppets attacking him. That's a great scene actually in this episode. So it's not all bad here, We have some interesting stuff around. But the scene is very brief, and now we're back into the plot where Mad Hatter explains to Batman his whole idea and all the blah blah blah. um, and now we also have some goons, all dressed in Aztec, right? And of course, and then we're gonna have a flashback with Mad Hatter saying that he was the guy in Central America that Veronica Vreeland, when she bought the dolls, he was the one who sold them to her. And with the mind control power, he was able to tell her to come back to Gotham and give these dolls away to all the rich people so they could, give away all their money to him, basically. So it's a kind of, not so interesting plot. It's a very, cliche villain plot that he's stealing from the rich people, not stealing to give to the poor ones. He's just stealing for himself. And we have a very bizarre and cruel scene now because the Mad Hatter is going to use these, what is the name of this thing that cuts people's head off? Guillotine. I'm not sure if this is the correct name. I had to check on Google. Not always Google is correct about these things, but yes, he puts Batman in a guillotine. The goons put him there. So he's going to have his head cut off, but Batman uses this device that sends a signal to destroy the mind control around the goons, and they wake up from the control of the Mad Hatter. and you realize they are all just, random guys that were working for him. So, oh, that's actually a very good scene where Mad Hatter releases the guillotine and you see Batman's face going, "Oh my God, I'm gonna have my head cut off." And he uses his own foot. He actually puts his feet up, and using both of his feet, he is able to stop the guillotine right on his neck, inches from cutting his head off. So, wow, that was a very, creepy scene. And the Mad Hatter also tried to force the blade down to cut his head off. So yeah, very oof. So this episode is not all that bad. And Batman uses his intimidation skills to scare the Mad Hatter. And in the end, he, comes down from the roof, swinging his rope and just kicks the Mad Hatter away, which, he ends up unconscious, and that's it for the villain. And then in the end, we see Bruce Wayne. He recovered the 20 million. That is so important for him, right? And we had this, okay, a cool ending with Mad Hatter sleeping in Arkham Asylum, and beneath his pillow, there is a little Batman doll. I like this ending. It's a cool one. And this is it. The Worry Man, another episode here in our commentary list. If you want to watch the other episodes, you can check the playlist. We are in the 3rd season now. And thank you so much. If you are liking the content of BATGUS, please don't forget to leave your wonderful subscription and also leave your like in this video. See you in the next Bat video, and bye-bye.